Therapist by day, dawn before dawn. I am Venus Ferocity. Therapist by day, dawn before dawn. I am Venus Ferocity. Hello, everyone. Venus Feroci here. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about polyamory. I've been getting so much questions about that. And also, in my practice, I noticed that I've been coming across a lot of poly couples. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I think that polyamory has gotten a lot more common nowadays. And I love that. I love that people are able to find relationships or find a way to have their needs met or find love in an unorthodox way. I'm the queen of unorthodox things. So, what I have been doing is doing therapy with some people that are polyamory or people that, they're just dating. So, they're trying to figure out what works. So, they never considered polyamory before, but perhaps they are at a juncture of their life where they're considering it. And then also we have couples that are considering opening their relationships. So when we think about polyamory, we think about relationships, love, dating in a way that's not traditional. So I wanted to take the time today to kind of run through some of the things that should be important for you to consider if you are in fact considering polyamory. Some things you might want to take a look at is perhaps considering if open relationship is for you. Are you monogamous or non-monogamous? Are you a jealous person? Are you possessive? Do you prefer freedom? Are you okay with your partner being with someone else? Are you okay with being with someone else? Because believe it or not, people don't realize it, but I have come across people that they are not they are not open to exploring with other people, but they're okay with their partner exploring, right? Because sometimes people might envision, like, hey, everyone should be monogamous or everyone should be, open if one party's open. But to be honest, there are some relationships where one partner is not okay with exploring, but they are okay with their partner exploring. Think about the term polyamory, and I think about people that might not be polyamorous within themselves, but I think that they might be by design simply by the way in which they are able to love their partner. As in, they might not have any desire to explore outside of their relationship. They are completely fulfilled with their partner. And if their partner is not fulfilled with them completely, they are not bothered by it. They don't see it as I'm not enough for my partner. They just see it as my partner has a desire to explore. So they are okay with their partner having that need met elsewhere, and the relationship can still be strong, right? So see it as sometimes, even if you're a person that you don't have a polygamous bone, you can be with one person and not have the desire to explore, but then perhaps you're okay with your partner exploring, you know? So I'm going to get into some things about what is polyamory, and we're going to discuss if it might be for you. I'm going to run through a list of things that you should probably consider if you are in fact thinking about going that route. So first, what is polyamory? Polyamory is essentially a type of consensually non monogamous relationship structure in which individuals have or are open to having multiple romantic or sexual partners simultaneously, assuming that everyone involved has consented to that or aware that they are in that dynamic. Okay, so long story short, it is living a life where in which you are open to having multiple partners, whether it be romantic or sexual. Okay, so it's important to note that the key components of this type of dynamic is consent. Everyone is aware of them being involved in a dynamic like that, or very well aware that their partner is open to something like that and engage in that lifestyle. And secondly, we have communication. Communication. All I'm going to say is if you are a person that don't do well with confrontation, you don't have the emotional bandwidth for communication, or talking about the ways in which things might impact you emotionally. If you are not comfortable with transparency, if you are not comfortable with your partner raising concerns, or let's say questioning what you do outside of them, if you are not comfortable with expressing your boundaries, if then this might not go well. I need you to understand that with polyamory, the reason why these relationships can be so successful is that they truly live a life where they are transparent with their partners, right? So, with that being said, it creates a safe space for your one partner or any partners involved feel safe enough to express their concerns, whether it is they feel as though their partner is not spending enough time to them or allocating enough energy to their relationship, regardless if they have to maintain other relationships. So it's like, even though they have this one partner or this bond is compartmentalized, but it's still able to be maintained. So I would say people that might do well with polyamory are people that do well with maintaining multiple friendships. Y'all know that those people that tend to have like multiple friends, and they do a good job at giving those relationships enough time, like quality time and connection. So there's something about that, okay? And then we have multiple partners. Are you a person that you're okay with having multiple partners? Do you have the bandwidth for that? Are you very adventurous and explorative? Are you extroverted? Do you like to, I don't know, explore? Do you have a wide appetite for things? Okay. Then maybe polyamory might be good for you. You know, on the other end of that, people where in which it might not be good for are those that don't really have an appetite to explore. Yeah, those individuals where they prefer to have just one relationship, whether it's one friend, and they don't really like to make new friends. They'll have like one relationship and they tend to be very faithful and put all their energy into that. They don't really have any appetite for anything else. If you're like that, then polyamory might not be for you. But, you know, there are people that can be like that, and sometimes they choose to explore polyamory only to realize it's not for them, but it doesn't mean that their experience wasn't good. That's me, for example. Yes, I have tried polyamory before, and I'll save it for a different discussion. But for me, I just don't think I have the bandwidth for it. But it was a lovely experience. But I'll say that for another time. Next, emotional connection. People with polyamory, they are great communicators and they have high emotional intelligence. Please do not be fooled by people that claim that they are polyamorous and they struggle with commitment. No, no. People with polyamorous people, they'll have multiple relationships where they are in fact committed to that person. People that are polyamorous, the same way in which monogamous people truly work towards a relationship and making it official, polyamorous people will go through that with multiple partners and make it very clear and very definitive in how they want this relationship to go in any which way they plan, whether it's, oh, I want you to be my boyfriend or my girlfriend, or I just want you to be my play partner, or I just want to have some type of like friends with benefits, or whatever have you. It's the fact that they're always very clear on what they want and they communicate that very effectively. And I think that that's what leaves so much room for emotional connection. It makes anyone feel very safe to express their needs and desires. So let's say, the person that is polyamorous, they already have a partner. mm, Based on, the next partner, maybe they're not fit for a romantic relationship, but maybe they're fit for a play partner. And let's use, for example, DS dynamics. If they are in fact, open to playing, then one will say, hey, would you, someone, maybe the dom would say, I would like to own you, or perhaps the sub might request, I would like your ownership. So people will establish very clear labels and outlines or boundaries around the relationship for the sake of maintaining the emotional connection, for the sake of providing that emotional security with their partner. People that are not polyamorous but claim that they are would usually run from emotional security, or pretty much is avoidant of trying to address the emotional insecurity. So I hope that makes sense. And also, next, we have individual autonomy. Polyamory might be good for you if you're a very free person and you truly like your independence. Some people that do well with polyamory are those that sometimes they didn't do well with monogamous relationships because they tend to prefer to live a very independent lifestyle. So, with that being said, it's like, maybe polyamory might be good for a guy where he works so much, he can't have kids or doesn't want kids. It's hard for him to have house and home, but he can see himself with having a girlfriend in, I don't know, in one place and a girlfriend in another place. But if he's open, very transparent, he can say he's polyamorous and discuss with both people and say, hey, I travel a lot. This may be a long distance relationship, but, I do have a partner in this place, XYZ. Just want to let you know. And if that person is open to it, then they can understand, hey, this person is truly polyamorous, but they have to live their life like that because they are not able to be stationary. So people really establish relationships with a level of transparency that might be unfathomable, but it's quite common. Hence the reason why polyamory is a thing. So, I think that with polyamory, it's almost like it it's living a life where you truly get to do whatever you please. How you create your relationship, or you just choose to live your life where you maintain relationships, whether it be romantic or friendship, it's on your terms, right? It's you first. Maybe you're a person that you'll always want something else, you know maybe you'll always want something else. Maybe you can still find the love of your life and still want something new. That is interesting. Or maybe you're a person where you'll just have that appetite for something new because it's your partner, your person that you're yearning for, your soulmate, and you'll probably never stop hunting for her subconsciously, or him. So maybe you're polyamorous until further notice. But let's say, I could bring that up as an example because either way, there is an aspect of polyamory where, such as compersion, where in which there are people that experience happiness by seeing their partner with other people. There's that. And also when we think about fetishes, where we have things such as cucking, and we have other kink fetishes in play that come up, where in which people experience pleasure in seeing their partner being pleased by others, or it's such a turn on to have your partner pleased by someone else. These are things that would essentially make you polyamorous if you're into it. Polyamory can kind of come up in so many different ways. I want to say, like, these are some key components to polyamory, and it's very important for you to explore these aspects to figure out, hey, is this something that is acceptable to me? Is this something that I have the stomach for? Maybe you can. Maybe it's contingent on the person that you're with. Or maybe some people you can be polyamorous with, whereas other people you may not. I've come across men that they can be with one woman and be completely okay with something polyamorous, but then they'll come across another woman and be like, yeah, this one right here, in fact, I want to lock the bitch in the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to lock her up. I don't want anyone to see her because she's all mine. It could be them not being possessive but finding a woman. And mind you, it's like a secure relationship, like, let's factoring there's true love there, but sometimes you can come across someone where they fill your cup so much, and it brings up so much hero instincts or this deep desire to be their all, and they're all in everything, that it's almost like, damn, I don't even want to give nobody else a chance to give them nothing extra because I want to give that to them. And I think it's cute, you know? But, I bring that up because you can be polyamorous under certain circumstances, while under other circumstances you could never. Let me use myself as an example. There was a time in my life where I guess you can say I was considerably polyamorous, you know circumstantially. And you know I've noticed that the circumstances where in which I can be completely polyamorous under are the ones where in which I'm not physically intimate with the person, right? So there is a bond, there's care there, but I don't think I'm polyamorous once my pussy is on the line. So you have to think, are you actually polyamorous, right? And also, I can play. I'm very comfortable with having play partners where in which there's no penetration or physical intimacy. Well, in that sense, but perfectly fine with dominating, not necessarily being submissive, but I like to play. It's fun. So there are people that are polyamorous in a sense where they have their monogamous or their primary partner, but then there is a pass for them to have play partners, right? So there are people that are polyamorous, but their relationship kind of look like traditional, but they just have the freedom to explore in a compartmentalized fashion, right? So I think that's kind of cool too. So I want you guys to kind of open up your mind around polyamory so you can kind of get a sense of it and get an idea of what it might not be, okay? Because I find what's so common, people will struggle with commitment and really just be putting a lot of women through friends with benefits situation. And I'm just like, these women did not even fucking consent to that. Like, these women are dedicating their love or hoping that you're intentional, and you have no intentions on doing anything with them but just sleeping with them. If it was, the question is, do these women know that you're dating other women? Why? Because if that's the case, why don't you make it very clear to them? I think it's very unfair when people believe that they're polyamory, but then not operating from an intentional way and making it very upfront to women, like, hey, I can treat you well, or maybe I don't plan to treat you well, but just know I'm here for a good time, and I'm gonna date other women. Or I can treat you well. If I like you, I'm gonna make you my girlfriend. But I believe that I should be able to sleep with whoever else. It's madness. I mean, we take that back. It's a little judgy. Sorry, I did not mean to judge. I feel like pussy's so sacred. I feel like, that's just me. Some women can, you know, they can operate. I just know with me and like how I'm set up, I just can't have my pussy out there. It's madness because even then they're crazy and they never could really fucking last. Like, some things are just not really meant to be out there because it's like it's such a slippery slope. Whereas some women or some people can really have their body parts out there so freely and can have success. I'm telling you. There are women that can really use their sexuality, like physical intimacy, like use their pussy, and even men can use their penis and just be very promiscuous and have success. It's like there's power in the penis, there's power in the pussy. Whereas with some people, their power is in withholding, such as myself. It's so sad. Like, can't wait to meet a guy that I can baptize in peace. You know what I mean? And hopefully he doesn't like become too crazy, because then I have to show him my side, you know? Top that. But anyway, didn't mean to go on a tangent. But we're gonna take a pause right here. And yeah, think about that for a little bit, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. This is not a sponsorship, but all I'm gonna say is real bitches that are built like a water park know exactly what that coconut water do. Remember I told you. Remember I told you. For you men that do not know, you would like to find out, bring some coconut water in hand. Tell her to drink it. That is all. But anyway, back to the topic of discussion. Polyamory. Is it for you? So let's get into it. I would say the primary thing that one should consider is, are you a very jealous or insecure person? Do you have insecurities? Are you very jealous? And I just want to say this: jealousy is a very human emotion, and we all have insecurities. But I would say this: when it comes to partnerships, do you have the kind of jealousy that is borderline possessive? Can you stomach the idea of your partner being happy with someone else? Naturally, I think that there are just some people that tend to be a bit more possessive or jealous than others. And there's nothing really wrong with that. I think that we should be more accepting of those traits if that is, in fact, who we are. And maybe it would be best serve you if you aligned yourself with people that would be able to honor that, because there are also people that are just like that. So when it comes to polyamory, you have to think about whether or not you have the stomach or the capabilities to be very okay with your partner being happy with someone else, or the life that they live with you. Is that something that you're okay with them sharing with someone else? And I just want to say this: even with friendships and very platonic relationships, nothing romantic, there are people, man and woman alike, that get in their feelings, or feel some type of way whenever their partner, well, not their partner, whenever their friend is having fun with other friends. A lot of women are like that. It's like, oh my God, how dare she smile with another woman? And there are men, when it comes to romantic relationships, it's like, how dare someone else make her fucking happy? So jealousy is a very normal thing. So if you're anything like that, polyamory might be a very difficult thing for you to stomach. But I would say on the upside, what I notice is, well, people that are open to polyamory, but they do have that jealousy streak, or they have these insecurities that might make it very difficult for them to be in polyamorous situations. I've known people that are like that do try polyamory, and what they found is, circumstantially, they can not be jealous. What they found is, I'm not a jealous person. I am, in fact, okay with seeing my romantic partner be with someone else. But I just realized in other monogamous relationships, I was so possessive because I just didn't have the level of emotional security with my partner. So, with that being said, I just could not al- feel comfortable with them dealing with someone else, or I didn't feel comfortable with sharing that person. I wasn't comfortable with the idea of opening my relationship or having multiple partners. And it's because I never had the dynamic where in which I felt safe with someone, as if I can trust them, as if I can be fully transparent, and that would also be reciprocated. And I think that in polyamory, that is something that is very core to relationships. So it's almost like some people can be polyamorous circumstantially, and what that circumstances would look like is having the level of transparency and trust to basically say, hey, I am going to share myself with someone else, but this is the boundary I will maintain. I will be able to let you know every step of the way what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, right? And I think that if someone can allow their partner to give them that, maybe they might find that they are okay with sharing their partner with someone else. And also, too, with polyamory, they have boundaries that says, hey, I'm okay with you playing with other people or engaging with other people, but these are the limits. And you can define that how you want to. Like some monogamous relationships that have transitioned to something polyamory or open. I've heard men say, hey, I'm okay with her. I'm okay with opening a relationship. I know she's bisexual. I'm okay with her being with other women. Whereas with some men say, hey, I don't even want her to be with women. I don't even want her to share, but they'll be okay with kink play, with her probably either dominating someone or doing some type of play that doesn't involve like fluid swapping or penetration or physical intimacy of that nature. So polyamory, it's for people that, let's say, they in general, if you can stomach the idea of your partner being with other people, and also you can better manage your jealousy streak and you don't have those insecurities where in which polyamory might reinforce those insecurities, you might be able to try this comfortably. But otherwise, if you're not like that, it might reinforce some of your insecurities. You might realize it's not for you and it's beyond circumstances. It's just not a great fit. Understand that even people that are in the polyamory lifestyle, they too experience jealousy, and they too have moments where they are insecure, but they are able to still give their partner that grace and that freedom to explore. And they are able to achieve emotional security through being able to have that level of open communication where they are transparent and kind of resolve some of the issues that are coming up. Because I would say, for example, what's classic in polyamory relationships is, let's say one person, the common denominator is pouring more time into one aspect than the other, and that partner is now on the short end of the stick and feeling neglected. So that partner that's neglected, if they have a safe enough space to point out the ways in which their needs are not being met and how their partner can do better, and they are able to achieve that, then the polyamorous relationships can continue to thrive even if they are both compartmentalized. So that's something to note. And also, I believe there is a book that's very good and talks about the natural things and natural emotions that come up in polyamory and how people tend to navigate that. I'm going to drop the book below, but this should be uh, what the book looks like if you want to check it out. I'm going to run through some last things really quickly and revisit some of the other things if you might have missed it early in the video. Lack of compersion. That's another thing. If you just genuinely don't have the interest to be with multiple people for whatever the reasons, it's okay to say that you're not polyamory simply because it's not a part of your natural inclinations. Maybe let's say I want to reach a little bit far. People that might cheat very often, maybe they might be polyamorous, right? Maybe. But if you're a person where you tend to be faithful, you don't even tend to like cheat, or even have the desire to be with multiple people, then polyamory probably isn't for you. Okay. Other things is communication challenges. If you do not have good communication, or you're not doing well with one relationship, don't think that going to another person, trying to form a whole new relationship, is going to make you polyamorous because you're not even doing well with a monogamous situation. It's just not for you. Okay. So be mindful of that, because sometimes people will explore outside of their relationship because something in their relationship is not giving enough. And I don't think it's fair to say, hey, you know what, my relationship is not giving enough, let me go searching for it. Unless, of course, that is something that you and your current partner want to discuss, right? Maybe there's some unfulfilled need, and you can have that talk with them and say, hey, I can't get it here. Even you at your best, you couldn't give it to me, and this is something I truly desire. Would you grant me the pass or the wish to go fulfill that somewhere else? And I promise to not betray any of the boundaries we establish here. If you want to do that, that is great. But if you can't even have that type of level of open communication, or you're struggling with your current relationship, so if like you can't even have that type of communication, or you just generally struggle in a basic relationship, polyamory, don't think that because you're struggling with monogamy that you'll do better with polyamory. Don't make that mistake, okay? Please don't. Please don't. Um but what I would say is people that do well with monogamy probably have a higher chance at doing well at polyamory. And it's because they're already succeeding at maintaining one relationship. Maybe they're also succeeding at juggling multiple relationships in their life. Perhaps they might be able to do well with adding another romantic or some type of partnership within, their circle of life. Okay. Uh, Also, too, if you just don't have a general emotional bandwidth, polyamory, like if you know you don't have the emotional bandwidth, polyamory is not going to be for you. Whatever the amount of work you would put into one relationship, you're going to have to find that to invest into another one. Okay. But also keep in mind, sometimes people are able, a little fun fact, sometimes when people open up their relationships because neither of the partner have something to give to them to make them feel fulfilled and passionate, sometimes someone will step out of a relationship and feel fulfilled, and because of that, now they have the energy to better invest or pour into their relationship. There's that, but I would say sometimes we do see that happen in traditional relationships, but it's not quite healthy. Let's think about the circumstances where a partner cheats. They go out and cheat and come home, and all of a sudden they're like extremely happy, and they're, just doing extra shit with their partner. Maybe it's good, but the partner realizes that there's something different about them. He didn't have this energy with me, and he's coming home with it. Where did he get it from? you know that is real life. These things happen, but that same energy, how it would come up in a more positive way in the polyamorous aspect, is where when people make the unanimous decision to open up their relationship, and as a result it benefits their relationship because now the person can go out, light their fire, play, feel more fulfilled, and now they just have more desire for their partner. They just want to pour that energy into their partner you know so give that some thought, because many people don't realize it, but I wanted to give it to you, both ways, so you can see how it's a thing regardless of how we might feel about it. Okay. And I would say, if polyamory, another thing, polyamory, if you try it and you feel like it's making you spiral, just stop. That means you probably don't have the bandwidth for it. I have had people that have found themselves in like a polyamorous situation, just by design. They met someone that disclosed that they were polyamorous, but they wanted to be open to the idea of them being with other partners, and they felt secure with them. But as things progressed and they wanted more of them, they started to realize that the ways in which I connect with this person and the version of them that shows up with others, I might not be able to have them in that way. Perhaps our relationship cannot progress beyond this compartmentalized convenience simply because they've already extended their bandwidth for investing in this way to other dynamics. So when we think about, people that might be open to their partner trying polyamory, even though they are not polyamorous, it's sometimes you'll realize that even engaging in that sense, the way in which you enable your partner's freedom, you realize it does have a negative impact on you. And you have to be able to accept that and pull the plug when you can. It's okay to love people and let them go, but also you have to be able to honor how you feel, because sometimes the trauma comes up in not being able to accept that. Okay. Stop thinking that you're a weak bitch simply because you can't handle certain things. It's not about handling, it's about it just not being for you. Accept that. Okay? Just accept that. Let me use myself as an example. You guys know the life I live. You guys know the life I live. But I'm just going to say this. Yes, I know that I'm demanding, controlling, and possessive. I will hold them captive. The penis is mine. You see what I'm saying? No, it cannot be out there freely unless I choose to lend it out there. That's just me. It might not be healthy for you. We don't know if it's healthy. What the fuck is healthy? What is the fuck is even normal? We don't even know. I just know what's normal for me. So I choose accordingly. I choose men in which I don't feel like I have to hold them captive and put their dick in a cage. And even if I wanted to, just for the fuck of it, he will let me, because I can and I will. Okay? But anyway, and lastly, values. I would say the core to most relationships, whether it's traditional, unorthodox, monogamous, or polyamorous, the values between you and that person need to truly align. That is going to make or break the situation. If you are polyamorous, whoever you are aligning yourself with, you have to have those discussions around what do you value most, and what are you going to use to cultivate this compartmentalized relationship, especially if you are going to be that main person that is going to have to maintain multiple people. Can you make sure that all your relationships are fulfilling, right? Because also too, it's not about trying to meet the need of others so they're happy so they can stay and not leave you. It's for the sake of, can you maintain a relationship well enough where in which it's fulfilled, So because this person is fulfilled enough, they can better pour into you. So because of that, now you are more fulfilled. You want to keep that in mind, right? So, and I think that the best way to do that is to talk about the values. What do you guys truly, you and your partner or any partner truly value? Is this something you can share with this person or in this new dynamic? Whatever you agree on, however you choose to make this dynamic, whenever you're polyamorous, you have to have a discussion about your values. And I would say, if you as a person, if you want to know if polyamory might not be for you, I would say sometimes when you find it's not for a person, or a person finds it's not for them, it's, like a strict no. Maybe it's due to religious reasons. Yeah, sometimes when people find that things are not for them, like polyamorous, it's like a strict no. Sometimes you find that it's because of religious reasons, while other times maybe it's for like it conflicts with their cultural beliefs. And other times it's a person says, hey, because of what I value and I truly desire, I want to be able to fully yoke and have like a soulmate partnership. And I just don't see how I can do that spreading myself with multiple people. Whereas even some people that polyamory might be for, they feel as though they can have multiple soulmates and maintain multiple relationships, maybe even multiple romantic partnerships. It's your life. You can choose how you want to do it. But when it comes to polyamory, you have to truly determine whether it's something that is a fit for you and whether it's circumstantial. Okay? But thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me. Send me your comments, send me your messages, email me any of your questions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And stay
Therapist by
tuned.
day, dawn before dawn. I am Venus Frozen. Therapist by day, dawn before dawn. I